This week we have two portions, and that is the Parshat of Acharei Mot and Kedoshim. In the Parshat of Kedoshim, we read the verse, "V'lifnei iver lo titein michshol." What that means is that you shouldn't put a stumbling block in front of a blind person. Now, obviously, the Torah doesn't come to teach us this particular law in its literal sense only, but it has a much deeper implication. And the deeper implication is that we are taught not to mislead people. When a person asks for advice, the reason they are asking for the advice is simply because they do not feel qualified within themselves. So therefore, when they ask you, they rely on what you are telling them. And if a person purposefully gives a person misleading advice because they have some hidden agenda, then they are violating this particular mitzvah in the Torah. Relationships are based on trust. And if a person finds out that a person purposefully misled them, the relationship collapses. And in fact, it's not only in personal relationships, but societies really are based on a situation of trust. Another law in this week's Parsha is the well-known phrase, "V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha," that a person is obligated to love another person as themselves. The Ramban, the great Jewish philosopher Nachmanides, asks a very simple question, and that is, how can it be expected for one human being to love another as themselves? It's impossible. And the reality is, Halakha tells us in situations of extreme, our lives, our personal lives, take preference over another person's life. So what does it mean, V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, love a person as yourself? And the Ramban explains really what the Torah is trying to teach us is that do not do to another person that which you would not like them to do to you. In other words, the way in which we treat people should be the way that we would like people to treat us. It's a very important rule in Judaism. Sometimes when doing things to another person, we may think it's funny, we may think it's a joke, but when that very same thing happens to us, and when we are on the receiving end, then we very often see the act in a very, very different light. Mitzvot are not only there for us to observe practical laws, but really the mitzvot, the commandments, are there to inculcate within us a sense of purity and a sense of improvement. We have to become better people by observing mitzvot. And hopefully, by observing these two mitzvot, we can really try and become better human beings. I take the opportunity of wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom, a happy and a peaceful Shabbos.